There's so many people that are showing up in fever gear or gear of myself, and so I think it's not something that ever gets old.
I watch a lot of film with Dave. He's our player development guy, so he's done a great job being able to grab the numbers from where I was struggling from.
Notched the first triple-double ever by a WNBA rookie and the first in Fever franchise history.
I'm just going to do whatever it takes for my coach. Whatever position my coach needs me to play in, I'm just going to do whatever benefits the team.
In the next few minutes, we're going to dive into ESPN's controversial rookie rankings, compare Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's stats, and see if the numbers really tell the whole story. Get ready for some mind-blowing stats and hot takes. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. ESPN just dropped a bombshell, ranking Caitlin Clark as the third best rookie season in WNBA history. You know what's crazy? Clark's rookie year isn't even over yet. That's right, they're calling it before she's finished cooking. Talk about jumping the gun. But here's where it gets interesting. We're gonna break down Clark's stats against Angel Reese's. Two rookies, two totally different playing styles. Who's really making the bigger impact? Is ESPN onto something, or are they missing the point? You won't believe some of these numbers. Clark's assists are off the charts, but Reese is a double-double machine. So who deserves the top spot? Let's dig in and find out if ESPN's got it right, or if they're sleeping on Clark's true impact. Alright, let's dive into the stat showdown between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You know what's wild? These two rookies are tearing up the league in completely different ways. Clark's putting up numbers that'll make your head spin, while Reese is quietly dominating the paint. Let's start with Clark. She's averaging 18.7 points, 5.6 rebounds, and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game. That's not just good, that's Rookie of the Year material. But here's where it gets crazy. Clark's already set the all-time rookie assist record and broken the record for made three-pointers by a rookie. She's not just playing well, she's rewriting the record books. Now, imagine a player who's not just scoring, but creating over 1,000 points for her team. Sounds impossible for a rookie, right? Well, that's exactly what Clark's doing. She's leading the league in total points created via points and assists, with 1,012 total points created. That's veteran level impact from a first-year player. But let's not sleep on Angel Reese. While Clark's lighting up the scoreboard, Reese is dominating the glass. She's averaging 13.3 points and an insane 13.1 rebounds per game. You know what's even crazier? Reese has racked up 22 double-doubles this season. That ties for the third most in WNBA history. Not rookie history, WNBA history. So we've got Clark breaking assist records and Reese making history with her rebounding. Two totally different players, both making massive impacts. But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's game isn't perfect. She's averaging 5.7 turnovers per game. That's a lot of lost possessions. Is it enough to overshadow her incredible playmaking? That's the million-dollar question. You might be thinking, okay, so Clark's got the flashy stats, and Reese is a double-double machine. Who's really having the bigger impact? That's the thing about basketball. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the whole story. Clark's turnovers might look bad on paper, but her ability to create plays and score is changing the game for her team. Meanwhile, Reese's rebounding is giving her team extra possessions and second chance points that don't always show up in the highlight reel. Like, you think you know who the top rookie is? Hold up, there's a reason ESPN's rankings have fans scratching their heads. They're using some wild math that's got Angel Reese ahead of Caitlin Clark. How's that even possible? Let's break it down. ESPN's not just looking at points and rebounds, they're diving deep into some seriously advanced stats. We're talking player efficiency rating, PER, and win shares, WS. These aren't your grandpa's basketball stats. They're like the secret sauce of player evaluation. Here's where it gets crazy. These fancy metrics, they're actually favoring Reese over Clark. I know, right? How can that be when Clark's breaking assist records left and right? Well, it turns out efficiency is king in ESPN's world. Reese is leading Clark in win shares by a pretty big margin. That's because she's super efficient with her playing time. Clark might be putting up flashier numbers, but Reese is making every minute count. But wait, there's more. ESPN's also looking at something called net points added per 100 possessions. It's a mouthful, but basically it measures how much better a team is with a player on the court. And guess what? Reese is crushing it in this category. Now you might be thinking, but everyone's talking about Clark for Rookie of the Year, and you're not wrong. Sportsbooks have Clark as the favorite. It's like there are two totally different conversations happening. Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest to ever play the game, even said, "It's amazing what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far." So why isn't ESPN on the same page? Here's the thing, these advanced stats don't always capture everything that makes a player great. They can't measure things like how Clark's presence on the court changes the whole game, or how her passing creates opportunities for her teammates. ESPN's not just making this up though, they're using a whole bunch of different metrics and averaging them together. They've got this new stat called Raptor that looks at individual production and team performance. It's like they're trying to create a mathematical formula for greatness. But basketball isn't just math, is it? There's something about watching a player like Clark that can't be captured in numbers. The way she sees the court, how she makes her teammates better, that's the kind of stuff that makes fans go wild. So what does all this mean? It shows us that there are a ton of different ways to evaluate players. ESPN's method is just one of them. It's based on hard data, but that doesn't mean it's the only way to look at things. Let's flip the script for a second. Forget about the numbers. What if the true impact of these rookies goes way beyond what any stat sheet can show? Think about Caitlin Clark's impact on the Indiana Fever. In August, they went on a tear, winning 4 out of 5 games. That's not just good, that's a complete turnaround for a team that struggled last season. Clark's not just putting up numbers, she's changing the whole vibe of the team. You know what's wild? The Fever have already matched their total wins from last season. Clark's not just playing well, she's making everyone around her better. Her court vision is off the charts, and she's got this ability to make plays that leave defenders scratching their heads. But let's not forget about Angel Reese. She's grabbing rebounds like they're going out of style, averaging 13.1 per game. That's not just a stat, that's giving her team extra possessions, second chances to score. Every rebound is another opportunity for the Chicago Sky to make something happen. Here's where it gets really interesting. We're talking about things you can't put a number on. Basketball IQ, leadership, the ability to take over in clutch moments. These are the intangibles that separate good players from great ones. Clark's got this uncanny ability to see the whole court. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Her passes aren't just accurate, they're creating opportunities that weren't even there a second ago. And Reese, she's got this presence on the court that makes opponents think twice about driving to the basket. It's not just about the rebounds she gets, it's about the shots that never even happen because she's there. You want to know what's really cool? This Clark versus Reese rivalry is lighting a fire under WNBA fans. People who never watched women's basketball before are tuning in to see these two rookies go at it. They're not just playing the game, they're changing the game. Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest to ever do it, had this to say about Clark. It's amazing what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far. She keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. When a legend like Taurasi takes notice, you know something special is happening. So yes, the stats are impressive, the records are falling, but the real story, it's how these rookies are transforming their teams, energizing the league, and bringing new fans to the game. That's the kind of impact that goes way beyond any box score. Alright, let's wrap this up. Clark's breaking assist records and creating over 1,000 points for her team. Reese, she's a double-double machine with 22 this season. That's wild. But here's the thing, ranking these two is like comparing apples and oranges. Clark's turnovers are high, but her playmaking is off the charts. Reese's efficiency personified, dominating the boards and giving her team extra chances. ESPN's fancy stats favor Reese, but the sports books are all in on Clark. It's like two different conversations happening at once. Diana Taurasi even said, "It's amazing what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far." Bro. So, who deserves the top spot? That's for you to decide. Think about what you've learned. Is it all about the numbers, or is there more to the story? Who do you think is really changing the game?